Darlings, my name is Gordy. I'm the Balkan girl. I'm the ultimate Balkan girl. You know, before me there was one Balkan girl, Modesty Blaze. She was a refugee. I'm not a refugee. I'm economic migrant. Very annoying, I know. And when I steal jobs, I actually tend to do them better than the locals. So no apologies there either. But one thing that I've actually realized in my time in this country is very big difference about mums. You know, mums in the UK, when their offspring are ready to go and leave home, they just go, goodbye, see you at Christmas, and we will cope for about 4 hours together. We'll hang on for dear life and we'll survive Christmas together. French mums will go, au revoir, hopefully never to see you again, because I will probably go and be some kind of hippie grandma and dedicate my life in Asia, Africa, somewhere doing some useful things. Now, Balkan mum, no. Balkan mum is quite different, and I am very proud to have continued the tradition. When you say to the Balkan mum, you are leaving. What? What have I done? Why are you doing this to me? Have you got enough money? Are you wearing boots? Where's your hat? You are exposing too much skin. Have you got enough money to pay for your own dinner? So that he doesn't blackmail you, because it's assumed that the man has forced me to leave. In fact, in my case, it was actually my mom.
My consultant told me, he said, you do still have some residual eyesight left, but you're colourblind. And I thought to myself, well, thanks for letting me know. But is that really the kind of thing you want to hear completely out of the purple? So I went and I sat in the waiting room, and I thought, I'll think about what he's told me. But those hospital waiting rooms, they can get so hot and stuffy, can't they? And so I thought to myself, I know, I'll go and get myself one of those little handheld fans, and maybe a can of Fanta or Tango. And I went into the little hospital shop, and well, I've always had a bit of a crush on the woman who works in the shop there, and so I got a bit tongue-tied and go, hello, could I have one of those hand fan? Could I have a tang fan? May I have a fan, a tang? Could I have a hand fan, a fan tang? Could I have a fandang? I ended up singing most of Bohemian Rhapsody. I went to the visually impaired disco. Everyone's favourite way to spend a Tuesday night. And I was chatting to a lady there, but because of my low to no self-esteem, I thought she was only talking to me, you know, out of sympathy. And I couldn't get it out of my head, but she invited me back to her place, actually, and with her, and we have Merlot and Hobnobs. They're a well-known biscuit, and we're petting on her futon, which was remarkably easy to assemble. And I'm still thinking, is this pity petting? But she led me into her bedroom, and, well, I can only really say we had full adult relations. I think the clinical term is grateful, and I said to her, thank you for that. That was a truly beautiful experience. And she said to me, no, Ben, thank you. Because in making love with you, I've now completed the final module of my Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award, helping out my local at a mental health charity. And I've been assigned the narcissists. And so each morning I say to my new client, I said, I'm your new key worker. My name is Ben. And he goes, Neil. And I go, not today.
You also alluded in your set, but you used to have greater vision than you do today. So what is different? How do you see yourself compared to other visually impaired people around you?
So, you know, and I had very supportive parents and a lot of help. And so, yeah, I remember going back to my local school, you know, after my illness, and teachers and friends kind of did a lot to help me. But it was a bit of a struggle all round, you know. So a sense of otherness, you know, began to set in. And yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. And then I went to a boarding school, actually, for blind and partially sighted kids. So then suddenly I'm in an environment where I'm, quote, normal again, as it were, mainstream again, the norm. So yeah, it's kind of back and forth, really. But at the end of the day, I guess we're all just trying to get by in our lives, aren't we?
Wonderful, Ben Lawrence, and demonstrating so beautifully how we can use our special powers for good, making people laugh. Our second performer comes all the way from, I don't know where he comes from. He lives in London, so shall we ask him? Please welcome to the set, Mr. Spooky.
Well, if you want to know where I'm from, it's your pal Dracula near his castle on the border of Romania and Serbia. There's no border there. I just made it up. How you doing, Gordana?
Doing great. It's Danube. It's natural border. It's Danube.
Ah, the Danubes.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Very, very français. Parlez-vous anglais? I speak many languages. I'm a spooky ghost. Any questions you'd like to ask me?
Yes. Do you dress up? Is that your way of being? Well-being is to dress up as somebody.
I think it's very important to look your best. You know, some people out there just pull their shirt over their heads. That's not a good look.
And what changes internally when you dress up?
Well, people look at my midriff a lot more, I've noticed. See what's going on down there. Sometimes I feel a little self-conscious of my weight. But then I remind myself that I'm a man, and I haven't had decades of programming to feel self-conscious about my weight. I could literally just look like and feel great. I'm also an economist, a spooky economist. Much scarier than the 1929 Wall Street crash, I'll tell you. Oh, spooky times. Let's think of some economic jokes, Cortana. My personal Pandora's box is my Outlook folder. When I returned from annual leave, blimey. Oh, where have you been for the Marcoms meeting? I was on agreed upon holiday. I'll tell you, it's difficult working in Marcoms when you're a spooky ghost, you know? No one pays attention to you. Sorry, I'm being so candid. I'm quite transparent.
Well, so God Zeus was quite brutal with you, really.
Oh, Zeus, I remember him. Hades, much more chill, I'll have you know. A lot more chill. You know, Zeus once, like, ate his son. Monstrous. Yeah, he broke the Atkins diet. Oh, what an absolute legend. Zeus. Oh, Zeus. Blimey. I'm trying to think of a Greek pun. I've got an Italian one. I had an Italian friend who died. I sent my condolences. But that's not Greek. Oh, my French friend showed me a midriff. I got an eyeful. Hey. I'm actually quite the physicist. You know, I saw Einstein the other day.
You saw Einstein?
I saw Einstein.
Oh, my gosh.
And his cousin
what did he say?
I saw his cousin Frank Einstein. But no, Frankenstein and Einstein. Anyway, Einstein was walking along with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend said, "Look, Einstein, I just need two things from you right now. Time and space." He goes, "Yeah, and what's the second thing?"
So where does your inspiration for being funny come from? I mean, is it relating to your letting go of something? Or
I had a pretty strict dad. That certainly helps. Making all those kids on the playground laugh. I had a hole inside me, and only the validation of other people would fill it.
Loving it, loving it. And so I assume you were popular as a kid.
No. No, I craved the attention and validation of others. I wanted it so much. Even in my later years, I still yearned for the roar of the crowd, the din of an eager audience. But I never quite... Got you.
Well, that was a very good try. I mean, let me feel sorry for you for nanosecond. I can't.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Gordana.
Thank you so much for coming and entertaining us. That was wonderful. Mr. Spooky! Woo, 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 woo. So we have one of my favorite ladies on the comedy circuit. Did you know that only about 17% of performers on active performers of the comedy circuit are ladies?
Hello, my name is Cecelia, which can also be pronounced Cecelia. That is because my family come from Slough. I grew up in Slough, but my mother is from Bristol. Now, my great-grandfather was Italian, and when he emigrated to Bristol, he did not want to become a typical Italian stereotype, so he became an ice cream salesman and a womanizer. Now, my mother named me Cecelia because she is a massive fan of Paul Simon, and she named me after his hit song of that name, because that song came out the year I was born, 1989. So yes, I've had a very significant birthday a few years ago, and I want to share with you what I bought myself as a significant birthday present. I'm very excited. I really splashed out. Anyone wants to give me a drum roll in the studio or where you are at home or wherever? Yes, I think it takes years off me. It's cheaper than a facelift. I showed it to my mother, and she said, "Are you having a midlife crisis?" I said, "No. I just want something that makes me look cool and young again." But I also had another present, another significant birthday present from the NHS. When you get to my age, you get a regular breast check. You go to the hospital and your naked bosoms are put into this huge machine which was originally used to torture Guy Fawkes. And historically true. And each bosom is squashed, really squashed. And I was trying to explain to my dad what having a mammogram is like. I said, imagine, Dad, imagine how it would feel if someone was crushing the most sensitive part of you. And my dad's wife said, "That'll be your wallet, Peter." So I was in the guitar shop choosing my guitar, and the shopkeeper said, "So what sort of guitar would you like then, my darling? Spanish guitar, classical guitar, flamenco guitar, acoustic guitar, semi-acoustic guitar, acoustro-electric guitar, or electric guitar?" And I said, "Well, have you got one in black?" Because it's slimming. I asked for one in a size 12. It fits very nicely, and I've just remembered something. It comes with an accessory, which I have to walk forward to get, which I forgot all about. So I do. It's called an amp, which is short for ample breast. And doesn't it look like a handbag? And just like a handbag, it's really, really handy for keeping your lip gloss in. And your hairspray. Now, I actually made a pouch, especially at the back for that. There we go. So yes, I'm learning to play it. I've been learning to play it. I've been going to the home of rock, the home of the blues, the deep southern state of Berkshire in the home counties, which is where Slough is. Now, I've been going to the Berkshire School of Rock. And basically, so the thing of the Berkshire School of Rock, most of us that go there are aged between 45 and 75. And a lot of schools these days have mottos, don't they? Things like, enter to learn, go forth to serve. Our motto should be, escape your family, one night a week. It's mummy's night to pretend to be Slash from Guns N' Roses. Now, I myself, I don't have children. I'm not with a partner. I'm with an internet dating website created by the internet dating website Plenty of Fish. It's for the over 50s. It's called Dwindling Fish Stocks. Now, at the rock school, we're studying my favourite band. Now, my very favourite band is AC/DC. Don't know whether anybody else likes AC/DC. Yeah, one, yeah, AC/DC. Now, you'll know this. Anyone that's a fan of AC, they wrote a song called Highway to Hell. I had no idea they'd been to Slough. It's exciting, isn't it? I love the music. It's exciting music. But their lyrics can be a bit confronting, a bit challenging. For example, their most romantic song is called Let Me Put My Love Into You. Yes. That's the level of it. Most AC/DC songs are about, and I've got to be careful how I say this because there could be children around or watching, for example. Most AC/DC songs are about, let's call it a memorable evening spent energetically with a young lady with a lot of stamina. I think we all know what most of the songs are all about, so I thought it highly appropriate to write a song in the style of AC/DC about the time I spent, not a memorable evening, but a memorable afternoon with a very powerfully built woman in Slough. It was when I had a mammogram at the local hospital. So thank you. So feel free to headbang. Headbang. So I think fire. Oh. Okay. It was a hot afternoon in the middle of June. I was sitting in an NHS waiting room. I was flicking through Hello when she called my name. She told me to come to the room and get changed. She said, put your clothes on the back of a chair. I said, where? She said, that one over there. So I took off my clothes. She said, no, just strip to the waist. Had to put my trousers back on in haste. She examined my left breast. That is when I realised no man had touched it since 2010. She flopped it into the X-ray machine and she gave me a damn good routine diagnostic screening. She was a whole lot of woman. She was a whole lot of senior radiographer. Don't mess around with her. She knows there's only one way to get decent x-rays, and that's to flatten your breasts between two glass plates. She squeezes them more, so it's really, really sore. She takes the mammogram, but comes back harder than before. First she does the left one, then she does the right. She squeezes the plates together, so it's really, really tight. I said, ooh, this hurts quite a bit. She said, I need to be firm. Then took the scan of my left tit. Woo! She was a whole lot of woman. She was a whole lot of senior radiographer. In the winter she likes to wear faux fur. Maybe she doesn't, I don't know. She's got a second home in Pembrokeshire. Ow! That was a rock scream. I didn't just stub my toe. And now, rock guitar solo. Are we ready for the rock guitar solo? so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Tell me, where does your inspiration come from? Because a lot of what is in your set is actually quite revealing, and it's emotionally charging. I related to that enormously. Wow. So, how are you comfortable talking about that? Would you mind sharing the content? Where did the creative idea come from?
Well, I go to a rock school, and it's not called the Berkshire School of Rock. It's called the Berkshire Rock Project. Right. But I thought the Berkshire School of Rock sounded funnier, because it is. And it's. I love it. I've been doing it for 5 years, and I just find it really exciting to play the rock music. And so I've done a solo show about it as well, and I've been learning the rock guitar and sort of I've been learning a lot of, I guess, posing. How to pose with the guitar. That's the thing I'm really interested in. How to make the moves. So I just love playing the music, and and it's true. It's on a Wednesday night. We're all of a certain age, and it's just a lot of fun. So
And the lady senior radiographer, is she real? Yes. Is that a real situation?
Well, I do. I have had mammograms. Yes. So it's and I thought, I mean, as it's about a quite a powerfully built woman throwing you around, and that is the subject of a lot of rock songs.
Yes,
I thought it's a perfect style to do a song about a mammogram. That's what I thought. So, and I want to make it that men and young women who don't have mammograms understand what it's like to have one. So I put the joke in about explaining it to my dad, so that people who don't experience, hopefully that's the idea, that everyone will find it funny, but it's probably, mainly people who, like myself, who have them find it funny, but I'd like it to be just that everyone can see it's just a painful procedure, and everybody, young or male or female, goes to hospital to have that.
Yes.
So hopefully everyone will find it funny, I don't know.
Yes. And how long have you been performing?
I've been performing for years and years and years and years as a writer, performer, actress and stuff. Decades.
Decades.
Yes. And it doesn't show.
It does. It does
sadly,
indeed.
Sadly.
Very much the superstar. Superstar. Don't put yourself down. Diminishing behaviour stops now. Because, as a character, you've got to get off the stage for your own well-being. Get off the stage, leave that, because otherwise you're like a method actor, aren't you? Now, what would you say to yourself, to your younger self? So imagine you are 2 years into comedy in the male-dominated environment, and it's a long journey to this, to fire behind you, to being the rock chick. What would you say to your younger self?
What I would say to my younger self that is just that you are not anywhere near as good as you think you are. Just keep doing it. You eventually might be a lot better in a number of years' time. You just don't realise how you just get better over time. You don't realise. You just start doing everything straight away. You don't realise how long it takes to get comfortable in front of an audience, and how much you learn. And there are people who are brilliant straight away. There are brilliant people who are. And you just don't know. But I think also not realising that you're not that good is a great motivator. You've got no idea. So you keep on going and going and going. And eventually, but you've got flames behind you. Oh, hello. I just it will take a long time. So don't enter competitions after you've done it for a few months. Just enter them after maybe 5 years. Not straight away, which is what I did. I did loads of things straight away.
Was that stressful? How did you find
Well, yeah, I mean, I would have been a lot better if I'd waited, if I'd realised it takes time to get better.
Yes, yes. Now we have one of my favourite white English males. You may think, so what's different about this guy? Well, he just happens to be very, very special. He also hosts, he is a producer, he writes, and he is very, very hilarious and very kind person. That's what's special about him. Please welcome to the set, Mr. Luke Terry.
Yeah, all right. Oh, yes. Comedians always love being brought on stage as kind. Funny sometimes. No, kind. We love that. Thank you very much for bringing me along to this shoot. Gordy, if you're watching on TV, you probably don't get a sense of how odd the room is. It's sort of like this green screen in this like small studio, and you've got people like clustered around. It gives off very strong OnlyFans vibes. That's what I'm picking up from this. Yes, Gordy talking about the British Empire, and then invites the most British Empire sounding man in the world along. Which British Empire, I guess, is better because my voice is British Empire. That's pretty better than my aesthetic, which is the wrong side of World War II. I didn't choose it. I just look like this. No, my hair's falling out. I'm too bold to be a Nazi. It's fine. My hair is falling out. It got me in trouble on the train the other day. Because the windows on the train, you've seen them, they sort of like bend and refract. They give you a reflection, but it's kind of like bent and refract, like a funhouse mirror. So I'm bored, and I just start moving my head up and down, trying to make my bald spot disappear. Anyway, I snap out of it, and the woman opposite me looks terrified. I've just spent the last 5 minutes staring at this woman and nodding. Yes, as you heard, my name is Luke Terry. That's not my full name. My full name is actually Luke William Angus Terry. Very middle, like so offensively middle class. It could have been worse as well. My mum wanted to call me Thomas. Then it would have been Thomas William Angus Terry. Twat. Thank God my parents backed away from. Honey, should we call our son Twat? Nah, he's got two middle names. I think it's implied. But I'm actually not as posh as my like name and my accent make me seem. I'm actually from quite like a rough part of Oxford. There are rough parts of Oxford, thank you. Admittedly not going to get me on the next like comic relief charity ad, is it? Every day, Luke has to walk 5 miles just to fetch his family a bucket of artisanal gin. There is a gin place closer, but the wallpaper there is so gauche. No, I did grow up quite posh. I don't have any money now. I'm a freelance writer. That is my main source of income, freelance writer. Living in London, not the easiest thing. My landlord's like, oh, that'd be £800 a month, please. I'm like, how about a sonnet? Yeah, but I did grow up posh, so every now and again I get to go home and like play act like I'm still posh, you know, do all the middle class things, like put on wellies, walk a Labrador, impregnate the au pair. Just middle class stuff. I miss middle class food, like posh food, because the food that I buy now is just the food that says what it is, like Aldi basic cheese. But if you buy middle class food, you get like a little story on the back about like the founding of the company. Like, oh, this brie recipe dates back to ancient times when our company was first founded by a talking bear who won the recipe in a game of riddles off a blind dwarf. I think they go too far with it sometimes as well, like with animal products especially. Like you pick up a packet of sausages, you start reading it. Halfway through, you're like, I don't want to eat this pig anymore. I'm invested in his character arc. This pig never grew close to his father. Well, I'm betting they're close now. They've been ground into a paste together. That is how sausages are made. I'm sorry to inform you. But yeah, I'm a freelance writer. I do various like freelance. I mean, I all sorts of weird freelance jobs. Really, I used to write listicles for a living. You know, the sort of like numbered nonsense list things you see online. You see them on Facebook. You scroll past. You're like, who's waste their time writing this? Me. You know the sort of thing, right? Like, ooh, 25 hamsters that look like Sean Connery. A real article I have written. I am the end of Western civilization. You don't still be writing top 10 lists as a job when you're middle-aged, still doing top 10s, but then get increasing like bitter and resentful. Like 10 reasons I should be allowed to see the kids. 10 sex problems that are incredibly normal at my age. Janet. Yeah, I do all sorts of strange freelance things. I got asked to be a children's entertainer. So I'm on the freelance websites that you get sent jobs. They asked me to be a children's entertainer. And I didn't want to do the job, but I reply because I'm curious. I'm curious who they think I can play. They wanted a Disney character. I'm like, oh, well, it could be Gaston or some charming prince. No. They get back to me. They want me to play Dash, the little kid from The Incredibles. I don't not see it, but I don't know how many kids are still fans of the 2004 movie The Incredibles. But if they are, this isn't how they wanted Dash to end up. Like balding, sweating, holding back tears as he like fumbles over a balloon animal. It's a giraffe. Now, kids, let's play a game where we go through Mummy's handbag and find Dash some smokes. So I took the job. I didn't want to do it, but it paid, 80 quid a party. 80 quid, please. 80 quid. I'm a freelance writer, 80 quid. I make that in a month. I read the Prince Harry autobiography, and one of the things in that, one of the scandals that came out of that was apparently that Prince Harry did cocaine, which actually makes me like him more, just for the perseverance side of it. I don't know how many... Imagine every time you want to do cocaine, you had to throw a rolled-up picture of your grandma. I'm just saying that's a bad headspace for a trip.
How does it feel to be one of the fittest comedians around?
I'll take the compliment, but it certainly is. It comes with a strong amount of backhand. That compliment. I think.
Did you pump these especially for today?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. I definitely wasn't doing press-ups behind the camera earlier.
He so did. He's like constantly. And I was just going to tell you, this is not part of the interview, I was just going to tell you, you really ought to stop that because, middle-aged women and stuff, it is dangerous. I could have a heart attack on set, and that's just
Well, we're
on.
a mental health
do you
awareness
mind
show. I
taking
thought
your press-ups somewhere else, just at least do it in the privacy.
We're a mental health awareness show. I thought I should bring a healthy dose of body dysmorphia with me.
What makes Luke Terry be and stay healthy?
Expectation. I don't know. I've always been athletic. I come from a sporty family. My mum played lacrosse for England. My cousin's a sort of semi-pro footballer. I was a nationally ranked cross-country runner. So we were always very sporty. That was always a big part of it. So I kind of grew up with that, being encouraged, sort of activity and exercise. And then got a job, and in that classic way you do when you get a job, you don't notice it, you just sort of slowly drift out of shape as you get up early and you stop working out, and it's dark outside when you finish your job and you don't want to go and do any exercise, and then you go to dinner parties and you eat middle class junk food, which is sort of like if I bought this lasagna from Waitrose, it can't be unhealthy. It's organic, darling. Just because it's brimming with fat doesn't mean it's not. I think I just sort of started to drift out of shape, and then I got severely dumped, and that's what pushed me to get.
Oh, well done, girl! So
shape.
To get him into action.
Don't say well done to the person who
I have to congratulate
ruined
the woman
my life,
who got you to do good things for you.
Yes,
wow.
I suppose that was a side benefit of having my heart absolutely ripped out of my chest. Thank you, God.
Well, the heart is a muscle. It doesn't get broken. It's not porcelain. It needs exercise. Do you feel better?
Great, more of me that needs exercise. Now you're giving me new things to focus on, Gordy.
So she got rid of you, and that's when you decided to take care of yourself.
It was like the catalyst. I've always been into fitness and stuff, so it's always been something I was aware of. It was just that was a catalyst to go quite severe with it. I started stripping, did a bit of stripping. Not tonight.
Okay, that's fine.
If you wear a cap, you have to wear a cap because of the hair. But the first time I ever did one was really weird because, first of all, I live in a tiny flat in London. I genuinely have no money. So there wasn't room for me to practice, the rip-off elastic trousers. So I had to wait until after midnight and then sneak down to the park with trousers underneath so I could practice. I thought I was going to get arrested. I did wear things, long leggings underneath, so...
A final question. You are also a twin?
Yes.
Yes. And how does it feel to share parents and family with the twin and the same birthday?
Well, he stole half my birthday. I was born 8 minutes earlier, and then this loser comes along and steals half my baby. This Johnny come lately. No, I have an unusual relationship because it's not the classic. Everyone's like, oh, the twin. Super close all the time. He's severely sort of developmentally disabled, so we have kind of a different relationship than standard. But yeah, obviously he required a lot of attention. I found out through asking around, quite a few stand-up comedians are twins, disproportionate amount, almost as if we got half as much attention growing up.
That's something to look into. You know what? Let's just go. Well, I'll just go and cool off while I give the stage to a wonderful, wonderful lady, one of my best friends in the comedy circuit, Rosie Ripple.
So, my name is Rosie Ripple, rhymes with tipple, and I am what's known as a fashionably menopausal comedian, which makes me the hottest woman in the room. Literally, I'm roasting. Ah, the men owe pause. It's not really a pause from men, though, is it? It's a full bloomin' stop. Anyone here aging? Anyone?
No, I'm not aging. I've always looked like this.
Because you want to be kind, don't you? You want to be kind, but you also want to be honest. So you say, wow, you look incredible. Now, they say that aging is incremental, but I beg to differ. Because, you know, one minute you've got a neck, the next, the whole thing's collapsed, like an entire section of the Cornish coast. Plus, you change gender, just like that, overnight. No gender reassignment surgery for me. Oh, no, I'm good. Oh, no. You change gender. Because the other day, I was in the changing rooms of a major department store, which I cannot name, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, oh, my God. It's Christopher Walken. Yes, it's true. But it's hard to do Christopher Walken because it's like he's trying to do an enormous poo, but he can't quite manage it. You know, he's crazy. No, aging is dramatic. Because, you know, after you've given birth to 2 babies, neither of which wanted to arrive. I'm telling you, my son, he was like up against the walls going, nope, I'm not coming out. Nope, not until you buy me an iPhone. And my daughter, Jesus Christ, she was just plain indecisive, going up, down, up, down, up, down. Like, do I want to be born? Nah. Do I want to be? Nah. Well, do I? Nah. And I'm like, make up your mind. It's like a Picasso down there now. And these days, you know, we're expected to fold it all away like a piece of origami. Not on your Nelly. I suffered for my art. So, any mothers in? Mothers? Ah, there it is. The strangled yelp of guilt and shame. Yes, as we mothers sacrifice ourselves on the altar of parenthood. Yes, because my daughter, she's up here now, you know. And she sachets into the kitchen, ready for a big night out, you know. Wearing 3 postage stamps over her erogenous zones. And if I dare to suggest that she might want to leave something to the imagination, she's like, but I'm 18. I'm 18. You know, I can do what I like, say what I like, drink what I like, shag what I like, because I'm 18. I'm 18 and you can't stop me, because I'm 18. And the more big and powerful she gets, the more I turn into baby woman. Stop it. Stop it. You're being really mean and horrid. And you hurt my feelings. And she's like, for God's sake, Mum, grow up. This from someone who was once the size of a prawn. No, but you know, I never wanted kids. I never wanted them. It was just my ovaries. My ovaries wanted them, craved them, like a whole pot of raw cookie dough consumed in the nude at 4 a.m. And my poor husband, he didn't stand a chance. Because there I was, broody as hell, oozing pheromones in the slug and lettuce. Of course, my husband was just a poor, humble man with a van at the time. He didn't stand a chance. Because I zoomed in on his ball bag, like a heat-seeking missile. And that was it. That was it. I got him pinned pissed on snake bites, threw him in the back of my Skoda, drove him to a Travelodge and mined his sperm. God, I'm telling you, it was like the handyman's tale. Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. No, because we've been married for 20 million years, so it's like a petrified forest down there. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody there? Anybody there? Anybody there? No. No one at all. So, I've got a question for you. What's happened to men? You know, men. What's happened to them? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't care. But I'm just wondering. You see, because I come from an ancient time called the 70s, where a man wore thick sideburns and bits of pork pie stuck in his teeth. And he'd strut down the street in a cheap vinyl jacket, smoking Rothmans and scratching his bollocks to the tune of the Professionals. And what have we got now? Postmodern men. And I see them, you know, postmodern men, shivering in doorways, vaping nervously, and hiding from postmodern women. In their ears, they're listening to sad whisper pop. Well done, Rosie. You just alienated half the population. Congratulations. Right, I'd like to finish with wellness. Well, obviously not finish with wellness. That wouldn't be very apt for a wellness show, would it? No. But I'd like to discuss wellness for women of a certain age. Because when a woman reaches a certain age, there are some very, very important rituals that she must perform before she's allowed to leave her bedroom in the morning. First, she must scrape her face with a jade tool, 56, 57, 58, 59. Then she must hit herself all over with a bamboo tapper. Ow, 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 ow. Then she must scrub her body with a stiff wire brush. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,004. Then she's ready for her Wim Hof breathing. And a freezing shower. Then she must rub hideously expensive and utterly pointless unguent into her wobbly bits. Then she's ready for her facial yoga and her qigong, and then her HIIT training, and then her affirmations. I am thin, I am thin, I am thin, I am thin, I am thin. And then her morning pages. I can't go on for very much longer. And finally, her supplements. Spirulina, chlorella, maca, yucca, chaka. Until finally she's allowed to leave her bedroom. She goes downstairs to her kitchen to find that her husband has left her for another woman. Her children have grown up, left home. Her dog has died. And there is a completely new family sitting in her kitchen. And all because someone stood up for her on the bus.
Now, for our lovely audience, they don't know that they have a luxury of having two alpha females.
Indeed they do.
In the same set.
Who haven't wiped each other out yet.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, we coexist.
We do.
And it's pretty harmless affair. Yes.
Is.
So
Yes,
what
it's a bit like
makes...
China and America, isn't it? We just sort of navigate each other.
We navigate each other. That's right. That's really good. But we do maintain eye contact.
Yes, we do.
And we do kind of mirror.
Lines of channel open.
Loving it. What makes a woman alpha female, and the secondary thing is pros and cons of that?
Okay, very good question. In my case, I can only speak for myself. in that I was the youngest of 5 alpha females. So I spent a lot of my childhood locked in a toy box. Yeah, my teddies were my first audience. A very tough gig, as you can imagine. Yeah, so just being sort of squashed, really. And I think it was a sort of survival thing for me, really. It was like, if I don't make some noise, I won't get any food, any water, or any sunlight. Yeah, literally. No, wow. No. No, I wasn't. I'm very happy to say in a box. No, I was just, you know, small and invisible. And so I think, like a lot of other comedians here today have spoken about it, there's something about needing to be big, bigger than you are, needing to be seen, needing to project a big personality for survival in a big, powerful family of women. Yes.
That is really, really interesting because it's almost like your reaction to the environment and the circumstances that you find yourself, sometimes due to no invitation from yourself, really. It just happens.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that. I have no follow-up or joke on that.
Okay.
But you are one of the performers that is probably, why I find you amazing and why I've invited you, is you have incredible abundance of creative energy. I think you're one of the performers that writes the most, that performs the most diverse sets. You could be a housewife in one, and you could be a yoga instructor in the other. You could be Australian, and you could be any character. How many characters can you perform, and what do they mean to you? Because are you a method actor, or is this letting go from your perspective of healing, really? So
very, very good question. I come from a performance background. I was an actor, and I'm a classically trained actor when I was much younger. But the characters, again, going back to the survival thing, I used to feel a lot safer when I was being someone else, and I used to pretend to be, you know, from anywhere but where I was. I'd talk to people, hi, where are you? I'm from the valley, hi, you know, where are you? Or, you know, Australian, or sometimes, you know, because there was something about being myself that wasn't enough. Oh. So I developed an ear and a need to just hide, I think. It's weird, it's a strange dichotomy between wanting to be seen and wanting to hide at the same time. Yeah, I don't know, I'm a mess, Gordy.
Wonderful. No, I love it. I love it. But beautiful, delicious mess. Love it. We could speak in Croatian and we could speak in English.
Of course.
Yes. Wonderful. Oh, isn't he delicious? Oh, yes, yes. Now, tell us what you do, because you're already a TV personality. So give us...
A diva personality? No.
Diva!
No, I'm not a diva personality, thank you. I do everything, actually. Everything in dance industry, in showbiz, connected with dancing, and basically that's it.
Yes. So I hear a little bird tells me that you are the Craig Rebel Horwood of the Croatian dance scene, because you are judge on a Croatian reality show, which is Dancing with the Stars, and you're a bit of a meanie.
You see, I have no idea who Craig is. I know who Marko is.
Tell us about Marko.
Oh, I'm kidding. No, I do believe that every person has its own personality on the show. And by the occasion, I got the mean one, which actually is not the mean, it's more realistic. But these days, I feel we miss a realistic point of view, so that makes me mean, I guess.
I love it, because it is, and the way I see it is actually, some people would say brutal, you do the feedback, but feedback is a gift, isn't it? You give the feedback and you don't have to speak. You could just say, oh, that was brilliant, and move on. But you love that person and respect them enough to give them the feedback that they can work on and improve.
Please go back to Croatia and tell them that.
I will. Put me. So I will. I mean, he arrived on broom today, right?
Absolutely, and it's a new broom.
New broom. Yes. I mean, it is Halloween after all when we're recording this. So, yes. So, you know, it's just actually the lens, the filter that people use to see.
Exactly. Actually, I was also telling to all of the competitors on the show that I'm giving them a positive feedback for them to improve. But yeah, they don't want to talk to me afterwards.
Yes. But, you know, I work in the corporate world, and, you know, when somebody accuses somebody else of harassment or bullying, and that's kind of becoming a theme, and it's not actually about the intention of the communication, it's actually how that person receives it.
Absolutely. This is true. This is true. I think most of the competitors or the celebrities in the show, they are not ready to accept any kind of comments. But I will just say most of them are really, really well behaved, so they will not say nothing. Yes. But you can see that in their eyes.
Yes, yes. So how do you know that your feedback has made a difference? Can you actually tell when you're giving feedback to a person? Because we have the same thing in comedy. You know, I see you as Rosie Ripple, character comedian, because you're playing a role, you're playing a meanie, and you're actually quite funny. You know, as a mean character. In fact, you are one of the darlings. I think you're one of the kindest persons on this planet.
Thank you.
So there you go, Croatian viewers. How do you know that you've made a difference to somebody's performance, to somebody's life, with your seemingly brutal feedback?
If they get offended, for sure it's a difference, because any kind of emotion, either positive or negative, affects on you. It will affect on your dancing. And this is what I'm trying to accomplish with them. I'm not always a negative person, of course, but in the most cases it looks like I am.
Okay, wonderful. Now, if you were to compare strictly, tomorrow you are going to BBC Studios, right?
We are going together as far as
we are. On your date tomorrow? Yes, I mean, we're not, we're just friends. We've been friends for years. But how do you see Strictly and Dancing with the Stars? What would you say are similarities and what are the differences? What did the British get right? What did the Croatians get right? Be brutal. Be brutal. I mean, be Marko.
I will just say the only difference is a language. That is for sure. And I will say if I do certain things on Strictly, I think I'll be fired. Well, most certainly. But at the end of the day, what we find out that audience really like it. The audience love the comments what they will give in a little bit profound way. So I find it interesting to connect with the audience and to be their voice in the show.
Yes, wonderful. And final question for you, Marko, because I can see you kind of going all the way and doing some solo stuff that will blow people's tops off. When Marko decides to form a production and do something, what will this be about, this solo production?
It would be always about vulnerability of each individual. I think that's always the most interesting and strong point, a really, really strong point for each character, either in the show or in the real life, but actually to talk about the vulnerability and make it fun, make it interesting.
Sleep well and see you next week!